Hello, it's Adam and Sam back again with more wrestling news, and there's some big stuff to talk about here, Sam.
Is there?
For goodness sake.
I'm nervous now. I'm nervous.
No, calm your tits.
Big stuff.
This is everything's gonna be all right. Let's get on with the headlines. WWE are reportedly attempting to book The Rock for Survivor Series. Aleister Black is believed to be headed to AEW. And Kenny Omega is dealing with multiple injuries and has stated that he is considering retirement. So kicking things off with that Rock story, this follows an Andrew Zarian report. Andrew Zarian, it states here, reported that Survivor Series will be in Brooklyn this year, with them treating it like it would be a major show. Meltzer has followed up on this, and he says the hope is for Dwayne Johnson to make an appearance at that show, but that isn't locked in. But the hope for it is there with WWE. Yes, bloody please, yeah. Obviously. Sow the seeds, right? You can go away for a long time. If Rock comes out, cuts an electrifying promo, and then Roman comes out and does something nasty, he doesn't even need to get physical. He can just a few barbs on the mic. Yes, please. It's exactly what's needed, isn't it?
That, and I think, to do this at Survivor Series is interesting. Historically, it's a show that, there's been stories for a very long time that Vince just doesn't like it anymore, wants to get rid of it.
The concept of it, the heels versus babyface thing, which is why we've seen it be about brand supremacy and all that sort of stuff.
Gosh. I think with it being part of, the classic Big Four, it makes sense to really make a big deal of it.
Inject a little Dwayne in there. Well, we will keep you updated. We'd love to see it, that's for sure. Moving on over to AEW now. Once again from the Wrestling Observer, Aleister Black believed to be heading there. The quote is, while not a done deal, and it can't be until the 31st of August, the strong belief is that Tom Budgen, the former Aleister Black, is headed there. Although there has been talk in WWE that the company made a mistake in cutting him and may make him an offer to return. So that could change the equation. We had previously reported on the fact that maybe WWE are regretting that particular release. But I mean, it depends on financials and everything, right? But if I were Aleister Black, if I were Mr. Tommy End, I would be heading to AEW because AEW have, I think at this point, a pretty decent, for the most part, track record of dealing with former WWE guys who were perhaps a little bit underutilized, that WWE didn't know what to do with, treating them a little bit better, I think it's fair to say. So I think that's the best place for him. And Aleister Black, go on.
They dropped the ball with you. Go prove them wrong.
They did.
Like that's the whole mentality I kind of see when I look at this is like when he could go back to WWE as you said, but if I was him, I'd want to prove them wrong and I'd want to show them very quickly how much they dropped that ball.
For sure. He's been, he was treated so poorly on the WWE main roster. It's completely, it's baffling. And I wouldn't want to go back somewhere where my job is seemingly completely always in jeopardy. He's somebody that's he's so passionate about it all. He wants to wrestle and he wants to present a character that he's really proud of. He's made that very clear, and I think AEW is probably the best place for that. Back over to WWE now, and we are giving you a bit of an update here on WWE SummerSlam and the status of two top stars. Andrew Zarian on Twitter, just adding to some of the reports that he's seeing from sources like Sean Ross Sapp, John Alba, WrestleVotes, who have previously reported that the belief is that they're trying for Roman versus Cena and perhaps Brock versus Bobby. Andrew says, the main event currently for SummerSlam is planned for Cena versus Reigns. Lesnar was in consideration for this show, but I've not heard that it's happening. Expect Lesnar to return at some point, but I personally have not been told he's on the card for sure. I know there were some reports regarding this, and it's not accurate. I mean, there are two matches, once again, that we would love to see. I'd personally be buzzing for a Lesnar return, and I'd like to see Cena again.
I mean, ultimately, the longer you leave Lesnar off screen, the easier I think it's going to be for fans to put aside their feelings over him and the title situation and kind of just pop and be really excited to see him live again. So if it's not now, then, it will be somewhere down the road, I imagine. I don't feel like we've seen the last of Brock Lesnar at all, but you never quite know with him. But he's got to come back at some point for some really big high-profile matches. Yeah,
okay.
and you know, yeah, just those assorted big silver suitcases that come full of paper.
Exactly. I can understand why they would want to put it off and just do the first big Lesnar return match being Reigns versus Lesnar. Obviously, the Paul Heyman stuff and everything. We will see. Another update, just a little one on Bray Wyatt's WWE status. Mike Johnson addressing Wyatt's absence in a Q&A on pwinsider.com. And he said that we're told that Wyatt has been purposely kept off TV. It's not a case of him having heat or anything, as he is well liked. The Randy Orton match, we are told, went 100% exactly as planned. It's a weird one because I think with that match, as much as I think a lot of us wanted that Randy Bray story to be over, that just seemed like another chapter in it. Now Randy's off doing other stuff. He's doing the stuff with Riddle. It's been weird not having Bray come back. I thought he would be back like the following week on Raw.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing though with him having quite a mystical character is that I guess it's easy enough to slot him back in wherever possible, you know, upon the return. But at the same time, yeah, it didn't quite feel like we'd got to the end of that. So are they going to kind of interrupt everything they've got going on now with Randy, or will it be kind of a wait and see deal?
Not a clue. Not a clue. It's weird because I've said in the past, and I think a lot of us feel the same way, is that Bray is somebody who should be used sparingly. The Fiend character is somebody who should be used sparingly at this point. But it was just very odd for him to be written off in that sort of way. We'll keep you updated, of course. Next news, a popular indie promotion returning. In fact, a couple of popular indie promotions are returning. First of all, PWG announcing their return with an event on Sunday the 1st of August. This is PWG's first event since the makings of a varsity athlete in December 2019. They were supposed to run an event in March of last year called Kobe, but that was postponed due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. It'll be good to see them back. We don't really know anything more about it. We don't have a name for the show or anything like that. The second one is Over the Top Wrestling, OTT, are returning. They, in the last hour or so, they've just tweeted a really great little video. Props to their production guy, because they're
so great over there.
He's so good. And they will be back sooner rather than later, Sunday, July 18th. You can see a few faces on the poster there. Martinez there, Haskins is there, Kings of the North, all there. So big names, familiar faces to OTT fans. And sticking on this side of the pond, a new NXT UK Women's Champion has been crowned. This week's NXT UK saw Satomura defeat Kaylee Ray. Big title change there. Kaylee Ray holding that gold for over 600 days. I believe it's 649 if memory serves. And Meiko Satomura becoming the fourth NXT UK Women's Champion. Whew.
I mean, this is huge. It's kind of the prestige of Satomura as a star. And the things that will add to the NXT UK brand. I mean, having her associated with the brand in general is a good thing, but having her as a champion, that's an entirely different kettle of fish. Like, what are we going to see here? There's surely going to be some unbelievable matches, and, you know, maybe, I don't know, where does it go? There's so many options.
Yeah, this is what's kind of curious about it. The fact that they've done it on NXT UK weekly TV was quite surprising for a reign of that length to end on weekly TV, which makes me think that they're saving something big, or maybe there's like a big debut coming for a takeover or something like that. I was surprised to see that happen this week. Hell of a match. Watch it if you get a chance. Satomura, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. She is so good. And taking nothing away from Kaylee Ray there, who had an incredible reign as well. We are finishing up with some pretty worrying news here regarding AEW and practically every other promotion world champion who is dealing with multiple injuries and has also stated himself that he is considering hanging up the boots. Huge news here. So from The Observer, and there's a bit of a lengthy quote, so strap yourselves in. Meltzer writes, Omega is hurting pretty badly between slicing up his hand and needing 7 stitches when he delivered the 4th belt shot on Pac in the 3-way. A deep bone bruise near his tailbone, the normal wear and tear on his knees, and an athletic hernia. He was also suffering from a stomach virus this past week. Poor bastard. But he's definitely in a lot of pain getting through the recent big matches. At the Fan Fest the day before the pay-per-view, he said that there are days that he wakes up and walks around where he thinks that he's maybe close to the time to hang it up because his body is feeling so much worse. He also noted that having real fans in the building when he's performing does make him feel better. The quote from Kenny, from the horse's mouth: "I'm not going to lie, it's been getting difficult. I've got a number of issues with me physically, and sometimes I wake up and think, man, I think it's almost time to hang it up." This is actually the first time I've had to step out in public and say this, because these are things that in my 1 day off, 2 days off, I think he means 1 day on, 2 days off, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even if I do nothing, just rest, they're not going away, they're getting worse. He's basically feeling like a bag of poo right now. He's got some big upcoming matches as well. It doesn't seem like he's going anywhere, and he's got so much gold around his waist and on his shoulders that they can't really. That he's going to have some big matches to let go of those belts.
Yeah, it's incredibly worrying. I mean, we'd all obviously much rather Kenny Omega rest up than be out there potentially risking worsening any of these injuries, and nobody wants to see him hang up the boots. Not now, not at this point. It's just getting started for him. And that it sounds bewildering to say for somebody who's already had the career he's had, but it's really just getting going. To the point where he will soon become a general household name if he just keeps on. Sure. It's we just got to hope that there's a plan in place and that he's able to rest up and recover, because it's just scary. You never want to hear it about a wrestler.
Put all the belts on Sting. It'll be fine. Sending our best to Kenny. It sounds like he's obviously he's gone through the ringer, but goodness me, that does not sound fun. An athletic hernia.
I couldn't imagine what a hernia is like. Let us
know in the comments. Have you had a hernia?
What's a hernia like?
Jesus Christ. Right, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Got a big video dropping later today that you should... So keep an eye on the channel. It regards a certain little bald gremlin who is... Well, he's going to apologise for what he's done. Stay tuned. See you in a bit.